My name is James McCann. I am the writer, director, lead actor, lyricist of Can't Go Back, a new original comedy musical. We are putting it on in Halifax at the end of this month, crumbs, 28th to 30th of March. So it is only a few weeks away. And yeah, we're very much looking forward to it. We've got a great cast and for a brand new musical, 19 original songs, hopefully some hilarious characters and a nice script.
And then going back to your beginnings with the arts, where did your kind of love of the arts and performing and wanting to be in theatre come from?
I did like lots of people, I did some sort of plays at school and things like that. I think no particular musicals. And then when I was 19, I got a job on a cruise ship as a kids entertainer. So it's just a 6-week contract. And I'd never done that before. It was through a friend of a friend. And I got on board, and there were cabaret acts and comedians and dancers and singers. And I just thought, this is a job. I couldn't believe that this was a real thing that people could actually do for a living. My job was to work with the spotlights at the very beginning. So I got to watch all the shows. And these were sort of traditional comedians from the 70s, like Jim Bowen and Ted Rogers, all these classic people. And I loved every second of it. So I'd started volunteering, doing everything, extra shifts. The other staff loved me. And then after about 6 weeks, they got offered a full-time contract. And that was me. So yeah, as part of the entertainment staff, not the show team, I did that for around 4 years. Just traveling all around the world, seeing shows, hearing lots of stuff from musicals because they had those sort of cabaret shows and production shows and things like that. And so, yeah, that was really where love of live entertainment, that's where it all started for me.
And then in your kind of formal years, were there any performances or performers that had the kind of big impact on you to where you are now?
I think it was the sheer like again, this is not necessarily musical wise, but the sheer the confidence and professionalism of the comics. Like because I saw their routines and I can still do them in my head 20 years later, these comedians, and the timing of it and the consistency of, knowing how to hold that audience. And I would see different audiences with the same comedian and see how they could adapt it and learn it and stuff like that. A big inspiration, things like for this sort of humor, like Morecambe and Wise and stuff. And I started learning not just about that. It looks so scripted, it looks so off the cuff. Yeah. But then you realize that everything had been practiced. And I had a disaster once where I used to host the cruise ship fashion show, which was one of my favorite things. And so the staff would come on dressed up and I would sort of take the mick basically. And it was great. And I really enjoyed it. And it was really funny. But what I did, I got cocky basically and thought, I don't need to prepare. This is, I'll just be funny. And it was just a complete disaster. So yeah, reading about Morecambe and Wise and how their every little look and glance was rehearsed and scripted and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, okay, this needs some work at it. And then, yeah, obviously hearing snippets of bits of musical theatre and stuff like that. When I took a break on holiday, I'd go to London and stuff and catch up on shows and see, really for the first time, see a lot of West End stuff. And I just loved something that could make me laugh through song. That's what really got me. If it can be funny, but the musicality of the musical theatre songs, just it's great.
And then where did your journey with Can't Go Back kind of begin in the writing process?
Yeah, well, Tell to Tell, the cruise ship engineer who returns back to Yorkshire because his mum is not very well. And due to reasons, he ends up sticking around longer than he thought he was. So what happens is he ends up singing in local pubs and working men's clubs, which is very, very different to the glamour and the life and the Caribbean beaches that he's been used to. Now, this is pretty semi-autobiographical because that's what I do now to earn money at weekends. My wife and I've got a theatre school Monday to Friday. I've got a studio. And then at the weekends, I gig in these pubs and clubs, and nothing has changed since 1974, something like that. It's bingo and it's meat raffles, and often there's nobody in. I'm singing to empty spaces. And so at first I was like, oh, this is soul destroying. But then I started thinking, this is material. So this show, Can't Go Back, has been written in, I would say, dressing rooms, but in the cupboards that are backstage areas of these working men's clubs. So surrounded by Christmas decorations and storage and old boilers and mouldy walls. I've sat there listening to the bingo going on outside and writing the script and putting it together. And there is a song called the Bingo Song. There's a whole montage of different clubs, and they're all based on true stories. The night where I was asked to sing for 2 45-minute spots to a completely empty room, the night where I started to sing, that happens quite regularly. I start my last set and everybody leaves as I start because the bus goes at 11 and they put you on at 11. So originally I was a bit, this is not much fun, but then I thought actually this could be quite fun. And if you've seen the TV show Phoenix Nights, you've got sort of an idea of that sort of thing. But it still happens. It happens on a weekly basis that, they want the same songs every week. It's the same bingo and stuff like that. So yeah, I thought I'd turn it into a show, create some characters based on sort of ideas of people that I've met before, and put it into a show.
And how would you describe your writing style to someone who's not really encountered you before?
I would describe it, and it's not controversial, but I would proper. There's more air quote, proper jokes. It's a comedy with actual jokes. Some of them are, if you are in the industry as a comic, as a comedian, like one of these old time comedians from the 70s and 80s, you will recognize the sort of themes of it and the routine of it and stuff like that. There's lots of it's stuff that I've heard 20 years ago that I've borrowed. Last night he said he was going away to see if he was successful, he wouldn't be coming back. He's here with us tonight. Please welcome. And all these sort of intros and bits that we used to use. So I would say traditional comedy, but we've written a lot. My influences now are so wide ranging. There's a lot of American comedy that I love. And things like Dinner Ladies is a particular inspiration, stuff like that. That sort of wordy wordplay, Victoria Wood comedy and things like that. I do enjoy breaking the fourth wall. I can't deny it. I've got the band involved with some lines and bits and pieces, and there's some not audience participation panto style, but there are some moments that are set up to break that fourth wall, and there's a few cod laughs in there that hopefully that will inspire the audience. My wife and I mentioned we have a theatre school. Every 6 months we put on a show at our local theatre. So I write the script for that. She choreographs it, and it's got all of our cast of kids from all of our dance classes and stuff. And so we're used to putting stuff on. My style in those shows, there's a lot of tish. There's a lot of rim shots and jokes because we're asking the kids to deliver them, and that's an easy way of getting them to sort of get the comedy across. But yeah, I would say fourth wall breaking, proper jokes, and hopefully a really good night out. There is some emotional moments in it, because that's, for me, if a show can make you laugh and can make you cry as well, that's just mind blowing. TV shows like Gavin and Stacey, or musical theatre shows that you go and see that can do both of those things. I mean, it's hopefully we can get everyone to have a good night out. The finale song's called Happy Ending, so we're not reinventing the wheel. It's hopefully people will come out and think we're going to have a good night out, and that's what we're looking for.
Yeah. And how have you approached to the point of, like you say, it's only a few weeks away now to the first show. How have you got it to this point where it's ready to go? And obviously Halifax Playhouse, how have you got it to that stage?
Yes. I don't know what I was thinking. It seemed like a good idea at the time. We've got, as I said, we've throughout the theatre school, and we've also done a lot of. My wife and I both work professionally. We met on a cruise ship, and I've worked all our lives. But in the last few years, through our kids as well, we've been involved with lots of local amateur societies and things like that. So when we put the idea for the show together, my friend Mark and Mark's written all the music. I go to him with the lyrics and some ideas. Sort of go, it sounds a bit like, and he turns it into actual human music, which is incredible. So between the two of us, we put it together. And I've listened to lots of stuff about people putting on musicals and podcasts and stuff like that. And they're like, we workshopped for 6 years and we've been doing this and we've got nearly an act complete and stuff like that. I thought, you know what? We've got the experience. My wife's a choreographer. Mark's, we've got a fantastic MD called Charlie. Lisa's the choreographer. And so let's just do it. Let's just put on the show. So we've got, we've put on a lot of musical theatre school shows. So yeah, the Playhouse is a great venue. Holds about 215, I think, for this proscenium arch theatre, and I've done some shows there before. We've got a lot of contacts through local amateur groups. We thought, let's just do it. So finished the script, wrote the song. We had a launch night in our dance studio. We invited local people and stuff like that. I'd written certain parts for certain people that I knew. As I said, my wife's in it. Lisa, my eldest daughter, who's at Performing Arts College, Eliza, she's in it. My youngest daughter, who has been to all of our classes many years, is in it as well. So I had a very small core of people, and a fantastic MD, Charlie, who's local. So yes, launch night, auditioned, found some brilliant cast members, some that I've worked with before, some just from the local community, and managed to persuade them to get on board, really. And then January the 1st, we had a read through. I filmed that and I made a few notes and edited the script, stuff like that. And then they've been fantastic. So it's not been a case. The difficulty has been, normally when you start learning a musical, you would have the original tracks and you would say, here's the script, here's the lyrics, here's the original Broadway cast, learn that. And they haven't had that. And it's the same with choreographing. You would say, here's the song to choreograph. So it's been a slower start at the beginning, getting those things together. And then as we've gone along, we sort of workshopped it as we've gone and made some adjustments and things and that here and there. But yeah, we've ended up with an absolutely incredible cast. I'm really looking forward to seeing them on the big stage. We're in the phase now where we're running it. We did a run with all the props and stuff like that, and we've got all those together. And obviously, for my side of it, I've got to remember to learn my lines. I directed the opening number. We put the opening number together. Yeah. We did it all, and you're there, the full cast of 18, and you come in and do that, brilliant. And then about halfway through, my daughter went, "Where are you going to be?" Oh, I'm in this, right? Okay, right. Let's start. I'll be there. It'll be fine. So just a little bit of a bit to get used to at the beginning. But yeah, it's the key. The key to it all has been finding the cast, and we were really lucky. There's some really good local talent. And a couple of them that were doing other things in panto, so we had to hang on for them. But now they're in. It's going to be really good fun.
And then what's the biggest thing? Obviously, I know you're multi-rolling, like you say, writing it, directing it, performing in it. What's that like for you to kind of juggle all those roles?
It was really like week one. I thought, what am I doing? This is, as I said, just trying to get me in and remember it, and also I want to be there, learning my lines and doing it, but I can't. There's no downtime in a rehearsal. There's no sort of sat in a quiet corner while other scenes are happening, because I'm doing those. But I really enjoy it. The directing side of it and bringing the script to life, and just the little intricacies of the jokes and the timing and stuff like that. I really do enjoy it. It was a bit of getting used to. But obviously the rehearsals are split between choreography and then the singing rehearsals and stuff like that. So that does give me a bit of time to watch what's going on and everything, generally, if I'm not in a particular number. And it's been great, because at the very beginning we said there will be adjustments on the fly. If you could just be a patient, because it's something brand new. There might just this might tweak and stuff like that. And after the run last night, one's running a little long, so we're just going to pull out a little bit of a chorus here and there and just adapt it and everything, just to make sure we've not got a 7-hour musical on the stage. It's I've worked with kids a lot. I teach drama and do the theatre school shows, so it's nice to be working with some adults on the drama side of it. I'm really looking forward to it. We've got the characters. There's one of the characters, an ex-ventriloquist. His character's an ex-ventriloquist, so every so often when he gets angry, his lips stop moving. So he's just talking like that, but he doesn't notice that happens. He slips into it here and there, and just seeing it come to life. Because you put it on the page, you thought, well, that's quite a funny idea, but when you've got an actor there, experienced actor doing it, it really brings it to life and everything. So it's been a challenge, because it's not just the lines and the script, it's props and costumes and all that kind of stuff. Luckily my youngest daughter is obsessed with that. That's her department. She'll come up with a mood board. I've got a mood board for the finale. I'm like, okay, and it's gold and it's purple and it's sparkly, and so that's it. We're online. She's searching Vinted and all these apps and stuff like that to put it all together. So it's a real family effort. I think it's going to be, as the MD messaged me last night. He's driving back and he said, I think we've got a show here. So looking forward to it.
And you've already said it's kind of a feel-good show, but what would you hope an audience member takes away from seeing the show?
I think, yeah, it is a feel good show. As I said, the finale is called Happy Ending. So I really want that. I went to see Jamie a few years ago and I loved the big finale with everybody dancing and singing. It was more like a sort of pop concert type thing. And
Yeah.
my thought was, why can't that be the whole show? Why are we waiting until the end to have the fun bit? And obviously there is comedy all the way through the show, I understand, but I really like that feeling and that bit of it. So I want more of that. We've got there is a pub singer called Derek LeDejeuner who is in the clubs and he's been singing for 40 years, and he's the sort of style that you can't understand. You can't get any of his words out. So
Yeah.
what we did, we've written it a bit with the audience, where the audience have to sing along with me. So he sings a line of nonsense and they have to sing it back.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can get them involved and everything. But to take away, I just want to go home, hopefully tapping their toes. You know, there's some really catchy songs, but I've just laughed a lot, just having a really good night. There's no, I was going to say there's no politics. There are a couple of lines that are a slight, not a dig at the government, but just there's a couple of political lines, but there's no mentions of the last few years of horrors and things like that we've all been through as a country and a world. So yeah, let's just go out to the theatre and just sing some songs and have some fun. As I said, it does break the fourth wall originally a few times. The character of my mum says, "Not going to turn into a big song and dance in it." Like, well, we hope so. It's a musical, you know, that sort of thing. So yeah, a good night and buy tickets for the next night. That'd be the best takeaway. Just come back tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've got some more fun questions for you. Hopefully I've prepared you a little bit for. What would be your 3 desert island musical theatre soundtracks?
Okay, this is actually really easy, and I would love to be one of the. Well, actually, there was a small off-Broadway production in 1997 you may never have heard of, but it's not that at all. The 3 that I would pick are Book of Mormon, because when I went to see that musical, I just thought it could be this funny. You know, it could be this, and it's just blew me away. And I deliberately hadn't learned anything about it. I knew it was the South Park guys. Also, the South Park. This didn't make the list, but the South Park movie soundtrack, which is a really good musical soundtrack, that doesn't make this, but it's very, very good. So Book of Mormon is on the top 3. Operation Mincemeat, I went to see last year, and again, I'd seen a bit about it online and managed to get a ticket, having no experience, and just blew me away. And since then, that soundtrack has been on it. And in fact, it was after watching that I was just like, we are doing this show. I'm just doing it. You know, it's proper inspirational. The cast were absolutely incredible. And their history of being, you know, small venues and building up and stuff like that has been a real inspiration. And yeah, I love the music. It's intricate, the wordplay and stuff like that. And on intricate wordplay, number 1 is Hamilton. I know it's not, well, I was gonna say it's not cool. To me, it's the best piece of art that's ever been created. We had it booked for Broadway for my 40th many years ago. We had it booked for Broadway, and then COVID happened, so we didn't go. So it didn't happen. We didn't go to New York at all. And then it came out on Disney Plus, and I didn't want to watch it because I really wanted to see it in the theatre for the first time.
Yeah.
But I thought, no, I've waited long enough. So we watched it. And I remember sitting there, and it was just after one of the lockdowns had eased, and so we were in our studio, and we had some friends around, so we put it on the screen, and I just sat there, and the opening number, he goes into Alexander Hamilton, and it was my shot. It was my shot. He got as far as my shot, and I just had my head in my hands, going,
"Yeah,
this is the best thing I've ever seen." And yeah, I mean, we watched it dozens and dozens of times, and then we just out of lockdown, we took the girls to see it in London, and then this last Easter, we were lucky enough, we did finally get to New York. We took the girls to New York and saw it on Broadway, and it's just, you know, it's been in Manchester for the last couple of months, and we didn't go, like, so close, but it's coming to Bradford, which is sort of 20 minutes from where we are, so we'll be going to see it again next year. But yeah, it's just, everything about it is just incredible. Just there's a character as a rapper in our show, simply because I wanted to have a go at that kind of intricate wordplay and stuff like that, and trying to get the humor through there as well. So there's a young rapper who is really talented, but singing in these working men's clubs, it's not the environment. You know, they're not keen on rap and stuff like that. So that's where that character fits in. But yeah, those are my top 3.
Nice. This is one I didn't prepare you for because I've gone rogue. If you were having dinner with 3 guests, who would you invite?
Okay, can do this. 3 guests. Right. Two 100%. Tina Fey. Um, she wrote Mean Girls, but she's 30 Rock and a host of American comedies that I just love and just incredible. So Tina Fey would be right there. Lin-Manuel Miranda. There's no surprise after me just
Yeah.
raving about that. I'm guessing we're gonna have to go comedy. The last seat might have to be like the bench. Might have to put two or three by the last seat, but it would be somewhere between. Controversial as it might be these days, I've always been a huge Oasis fan, so maybe Noel Gallagher would squeeze in there as a songwriter, but also comedians. I do like Steve Coogan as Alan Partridge has been a huge influence as well. Peter Kay might be there. So I'm going to leave the last seat rotating and put someone in for each course if that's all right. But it would be a comic. I think it would be a comedian. For inspiration purposes.
Amazing. And then if you were a biscuit, what would you be and why?
If I was a biscuit, I think I'm going to have to go Jaffa Cake because we're not sure. There is a musical about it, whether it's a biscuit or a cake, and I'm not one thing or the other. I'm sort of might need to rephrase that. But I do a bit of writing and a bit of singing and a bit of directing and stuff like that. So what's the most versatile biscuit? Maybe a hobnob that can you can eat or you can dunk it or stuff like that. But yeah, I'll go Jaffa Cake because I've never quite decided exactly where I fit. But right now we're doing a bit of everything between me and the production team. So yeah, we're going to throw it all together.
That is a great answer.
Okay, thank you.
And then what kind of keeps you inspired? For obviously, when you're writing a show, it's difficult with the challenges you're facing. But what kind of keeps you inspired?
Yeah, I go through phases. I will listen to a song or see a show, and I'll go through two immediate things. I immediately want to go and create something because this is incredible. People can. This is fantastic. And my other part of my brain goes, "What's the point? What's the point of trying to put on a musical when Hamilton or Operation Mincemeat exists? When these things exist and they're so good, why would you even try?" And it's one of the biggest issues is imposter syndrome, and everybody suffers from it. You read it like there was a woman on the news last night who just won one of the world golds in the world championships athletics, and going, well, maybe I can hope that going forward I can believe in myself. Like, you've just won gold. Like, you believe in yourself. So and it's the same with writing stuff like that. I listened to the songs. We were in the studio on Saturday. We spent a day in the recording studio, which is a whole new experience, and the songs sound fantastic. But in the back of my brain, I'm like, well, not proper songs. They are. They've been written and composed and sung brilliantly by the cast, but you automatically compare with stuff like that. So yeah, that's always a really difficult thing. But to keep me inspired, it's just seeing the reaction of other people. I took my sister to see Book of Mormon and went along with her, and just watching her watching it. There's like certain lines and certain moments of that I know what's coming here, and stuff like that. So yeah, seeing how people enjoy it, and my entire Twitter X feed is follow musical theatre people and stuff like that, and you see these stories of success, small shows that have done Edinburgh, the Fringe, and then the Leicester Curve, and then moved to the West End or wherever it might be. So seeing brilliant people, that's inspiring. I just want to, your dream job is to be in a room of talented people creating something, I think. And so yeah, that's what keeps me going.
And then obviously you've got the production happening in Halifax, kind of 3 nights there. And then what kind of your hopes beyond that? Is it more performances? Have you kind of got that far ahead yet?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the plan. We've not got that far ahead. We are filming it. We're filming it on the Friday and Saturday night. So we've got a show reel, ideally, to then go out and promote. There's a bigger theatre in Huddersfield, which is sort of the other. We live between the two, and they put on a production last year, which was fantastic. And in fact, when I was writing that program, that show was being advertised, and it was a Victoria Wood inspired Yorkshire comedy musical written by an ex cruise ship entertainer. I was like, oh, that's our show. Yeah. They're putting on our show. But luckily, theirs was set in a fish and chip shop, and it was different enough. But it was brilliant. And they sold out sort of 4 or 5 nights or something. So in my head, stepping up maybe a co-production with a theatre, so we can just step up that at the moment. At the moment, my father-in-law and I are building the sets for this. We're going to project the backdrops and everything, but hopefully, we can move forward and get some producers on board and stuff. That's the idea. But we've got to sell more tickets for this one yet. Otherwise, it's going to be the next 10 years working hard to pay off the debts of this first one. So yeah, costs will be covered if we can sell the tickets, but that's been the hardest part of it all, is just promotion, is getting it out there really. Everything else is within our control, but casting wasn't, but we got very, very lucky with our cast, and now ticket sales isn't out of our control. And there's so many people go, oh yeah, we're going to come. Like, let me buy a ticket, please, just so I know that you're coming. So I can sleep between now and the end of the month. But yeah, going forward, I'd love to put it on again, scale it up, and take it from there.
And then where can people follow the journey of the show now? And obviously we'll talk about the end where they can see it. Yeah.
The best place is probably the Facebook page, which is Can't Go Back Musical. If you search for that on Facebook, I think it's facebook.com/CGB Musical. It's the same on Twitter at CGB Musical and Instagram at CGB Musical. So yeah, you can follow all there. I'm not as good at Instagram as I am at the others, keeping up with all the social media. Yeah. So my eldest has become our social media manager, so she's telling me how to do it and stuff like that. So but yeah, it's one of those things that falls through the cracks really when everything else is going on. It's like I could do an Instagram post and craft that, or I could drive to Nottingham and buy an enormous side of a cow prop piece of meat for the meat raffle. So that's what we did instead. So yeah, follow us online. Tickets are available from Ticket Source, and again, our website, www.cgbmusical.com. That's got all the information and the ticket link as well. So that's a good place to start.
Amazing. Well, James, thank you so much for your time today and chatting about the show. I love how much you is in this show. I like the collaborative element, the whole family element. Amazing.
Yeah, it's a bit of Von Trapp. It's a bit of Von Trapp's. They're all getting involved. And as I said, they put the script together knowing, well, I did ask them, but knowing that there'd be, we've got some people to play some roles at least before the casting process. So yeah, my wife plays a character. My character returns after all these years at sea, and she remained at home, and she's just a little bit not peeved, but she's not willing to put up with his glamorous life, and he's just sailing into town after all these years and hoping everything can go where he left off. So she's got her own business and has to have a proper job running her school. So yeah, it should be good fun. Hopefully we can get some people to come and see it.
Fingers crossed, as you say. Well, Can't Go Back runs at Halifax Playhouse from the 28th to the 30th of March.
That's it.
Get your tickets because it's going to be great.
I'll just quickly mention, we're doing on Sunday, Mother's Day, we're doing a live performance at the Peace Hall in Halifax. It's a fantastic venue with a bandstand in the middle, so we're going to take the cast down and just do a few excerpts and live performances. And as I said, we're in the studio the other day, so over the next few days we're going to be releasing some songs so people can actually hear what it's all about.